A little all around the world here for you. I think that's fitting for our next guest in studio, Lori Jean Britton. Good morning, Lori. How are you?
Hi, doing just fine.
You're going to be making your way, I don't know, it might feel around the world, but you're trying to make your way through all 50 states.
Yes.
While playing laser tag.
So that is what we're doing.
So you will be hitting your 50th state soon? Next week? Or so right now you're at 49, right?
I'm at 49 right now. Texas will be my 50th state when I go and I play at Laser Quest of North Richland Hills, and that's when I'm going to actually become the first person to ever play laser tag in all 50 states.
Wow.
And we're celebrating by making this all happen on International Laser Tag Day, March 28th. We're going to play some tag and have a great time.
That's the 35th anniversary of when laser tag began.
Yes,
right?
Laser tag actually started in the Dallas, Texas area. George Carter III is an inventor who still lives in Texas. He's going to come out and celebrate with us, but he created the first laser tag system, which was called Photon. And so 35 years later, laser tag is still going strong. It's a huge phenomenon, and people love playing laser tag all over the world. So we're celebrating the 35th anniversary.
What is it for someone like me who doesn't? I don't know what it is.
Sure, laser tag. It's a sport game where you put on equipment. You put on a vest that has lights on it, and you have a handheld unit where you target the lights on an opposing player. So you run around a maze. It's very athletic, actually. I always say it's what I do instead of going to the gym. And your goal is to target those lights and make them deactivate. And then high score player wins. And it's something where there's a tournament scene. And so you can get very athletic with it if you choose. But it's also something that's really family friendly. So it's great for all ages. Kids enjoy it. Adults can enjoy it. And it's really just a great sport for people who want to have fun with family and friends.
So it's like high-tech paintball.
It's a little bit like that without the mess or the pain.
Or
it's
or
just
getting whacked. You don't feel getting hit with the laser. You're not getting fried by the laser. Right, yes.
So Lori, I don't know if you know this, but like many inventions or many products, they're usually a product of some other attempt at something else. So do you know why or how? Was this the main goal to invent laser tag, or did this come out of some other attempt?
Well, the background story on this is George Carter III was actually watching Star Wars, and he saw that famous scene where they're targeting each other, and he thought, wouldn't that be an amazing game? Mm-hmm. So it took a couple of years before the technology came along that this could work. I know he actually developed laser tag by tearing apart a TV and a remote control. Basically, it's like a giant remote control. Is how laser tag is activated.
So like the Star Wars, you talk about like the stormtrooper scene where they're shooting those little laser beams. So that's essentially what the primitive. I don't know what they look like now, but laser tag. When I was growing up in the '90s, you'd have those guns that looked like they were the stormtrooper guns from Star Wars. So that's interesting. I didn't know that fact, but he saw that. He thought that'd be a cool idea to play a game where you wear the boxes or whatever, the lights on your chest, and it detects the laser. And how many times can you get shot? Do you only get shot once with the laser and it goes off, or do you get like 3 shots? Or
Well, the interesting thing is there's so many different systems of laser tag now that they all work kind of around the same premise, but there's different games and different ways to go about it. With the Laser Quest that I'm going to be playing, one shot will deactivate a vest for roughly 5 to 8 seconds, and then you come right back on. So, it's really just about tagging somebody and scoring points, and then everybody comes right back on, is right back in the game.
How do you win?
High points win.
So how do you get a point?
Oh, every time you deactivate the lights and you make the lights go off.
So when you deactivate the light, you get a point, and whoever's light gets deactivated is not out of the game at that point. They continue to participate.
They'll be down for just a few seconds, and they're right back up and playing.
And it's a timed event. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
So at the end of the time, whoever's got the highest points comes out the winner. But as you mentioned, there are different variations, and I think in different games that you can play. But in this specific one, as you mentioned, the one-hit scenario. Lori, let's go back to you making you're going to make history by being the first one to do this. And some folks out here might be listening and say, how many, it took you, 6, 7, 8 months to go do all this. This was a journey for 5 years.
5 years?
5 years.
This for me was about a 5-year journey.
Right.
And to be perfectly honest, this is the 35th year of laser tag. I honestly thought somebody would have accomplished this or would have crossed somebody's mind to do this sooner than now. But 5 years ago, I started my journey, and I've been crossing the country, going to every state. Just every time I take a vacation, basically, I'm looking for where's the nearest laser tag arena. And so I go off and I play in these different states. And by the time I had been to a few, mostly by way of going through tournaments, I'd realized that I'd played in a few states, and I wondered, how far can I take this? And it kind of became a bucket list goal that, someday I'd like to play in all 50 states.
What's the closest one to us then?
The closest arena would be the Fun Warehouse in Camillus, out by Syracuse.
The Fun Warehouse. You go there a lot?
Oh, I go there frequently. There's also one out in Albany, and so it's relatively nearby. You'll usually find them in a larger city, and it's great fun. And so that's where I started my journey. And then the further I went with this, the more I thought, well, maybe I could get to all 50 states. And eventually, I found out the Laser Tag Museum is operated by a curator, Eric Guthrie, affirmed that I actually will be the first person to have ever done this. So that was really cool to find out.
Will you be in the Guinness Book of World Records?
I don't know if I'm going to be in Guinness. I think that the fact that it took 5 years, maybe if I did 50 states in 50 days, they'd like it a little bit more. But I think that, it's just kind of cool to have a little piece of history myself.
You're going to a different state once a month almost once a month for 5 years.
Well,
right?
What actually happened was
10 states a year to get 5 years for 50 states. So it's almost once a month.
What I ended up doing was just taking a lot of vacations and long weekends where I would go to one state, rent a car, and drive to a couple of surrounding states. So I would have these long weekends where I'd say, I drove from Nevada all the way up the coast, and that's how I actually ended up in Alaska one time.
You drove all the way up to Alaska?
Well, no. I drove to Seattle, flew to Alaska, and when I got there, the National Guard was waiting to play against me in Alaska.
So did they beat you?
Well, we were on team, so I got to play with a few of them.
So quantity does not always mean quality. So you will play in all 50 states. So are you good or bad? I mean, just because you play all this time doesn't mean you're any good.
It's a fair question.
No, it is a fair question. I think I'm reasonably good. Now, I am not going to say I'm not one of the top tier tournament players. There are some amazing athletes in this sport, and so I am not going to put myself in that category. I'll call myself an advanced intermediate, but no, I do pretty well.
But is there a tier and a ranking system to say one group, team, or player is better or more experienced than the other?
Well, sure. There are, as I say, there's a variety of different laser tag systems. So some of them will have their own tournament scene. I mean, you can go to nationals or worlds. In fact, I have played with world level players, and so that's really amazing to be able to say.
Is there something like a Super Bowl for laser tag where it culminates in this one big event at one point?
There isn't any one specific event for the entire sport, but each system sort of has their own scene.
Lori, the one question we didn't ask you is, I don't know how old you are particularly, and I'm not going to attempt to guess. But you're,
Boy, thanks.
But you're not a kid, and I think, like you said, a lot of kids would be attracted, but it's good for the whole family, like kids, younger people, older people.
Yes.
So what exactly, for you to be committed to now going to be 50 states, what exactly is it about laser tag that has made you so enthralled by it and committed to it?
As a young adult.
Right.
For me, it was
As a
finding
young
a
adult.
competitive scene. It was finding a team sport that I could be involved with as an adult. Because, when you're growing up, you've got all these school sports in front of you, and that's fantastic. But when you're older, you kind of have to seek out those opportunities a little bit more. So when I found that there was a competitive scene, that there were other people my age who were enjoying it, I mean, I just found a nice scene where I could feel like part of a group and go in and do what I love.
And no contact, right? You're not like
no
clashing into each other.
Never.
So you're not going to get hurt unless you stumble.
Right, and Lori, band members, they travel to different cities, they bring their own drums or guitar. Is there like certain things? Is there special equipment? Is it tuned or designed for you? Can you specially order something?
Well, every place that you go, you're going to walk into their arena using their equipment.
Okay.
So anybody can walk in. What's great about laser tag is you don't have to have ever done this before. Like I say, there are certainly top tier players out there, but it's also something you can walk in for the first time, bring your kids, bring your family. It's a fantastic way to just get a little healthy exercise. Yeah. And there's no physical contact, no harm. It's just burning off some extra energy and having a great time.
So they have everything there for you that you
Yes.
need. Like going to a bowling alley, you got on the bowling shoes and the bowling ball, and you're all set.
Absolutely. So anybody who wants to play tag on Laser Tag Day, International Laser Tag Day, March 28th. So I think it would be great
next
to have.
Thursday. Right?
Absolutely. Next Thursday. So I think it would be fantastic. Anybody who thinks that this, go find yourself a laser tag arena and take the family and go play.
Well, I think you probably can. You're very passionate and excited about this, and I think you've probably converted every single one of our listeners to your great.
We have laser tag at home, a version of it, so I play it all the time with my son.
Oh, that's right.
Yes, it's quite
excellent.
fun. So,
well, you've got to play on
But
Thursday.
no, here's the trivia question. It's the initial first laser tag company was called what?
Photon.
Photon.
Yes.
And it's no
Invented
longer
by George Carter III, who's going to be coming out to Laser Quest North Richland Hills on International Laser Tag Day.
Right. And so Laser Tag is its own company name too as well, right?
Well, back in the day, okay, you're asking for some real history here. 1984 was when Photon was invented. And then you might remember the Christmas season of 1986, there was a toy version put out on the market called Photon. And it was sort of a junior version, a home system, so to speak, of that. And at the same time, Worlds of Wonder released their own home system that competed on the market as a toy category. And that was called Laser Tag with a Z. So they branded Laser Tag with a Z, Laser Tag LASER. That is just kind of the overall umbrella that all laser tag falls under.
Well, Lori, you have blogged about your experience as well, so let folks know where they can find out your blogging information, and if they want to follow you, where do they do that?
Oh, sure. All the stories and lots of photos of my adventures you can find at TiviaChickLovesLaserTag.com. And I look forward to having people check that out and, maybe come out and try laser tag for the first time.
Sure. We're going to be cheering you on. Lori Jean Britton in studio, and she's looking to make history as the first person to play laser tag in all 50 states. Lori, when are you taking off?
I'll be out in Texas next week.
Next week?
And March 28th is the big day, International Laser Tag Day, out in Texas at Laser Quest.
All right, well, maybe we'll have you call in so you can give us an idea of what's going on. Lori, we wish you the best. We'll be rooting for you. Hopefully you get all the points and you knock everyone's lights out or turn them off as long as you possibly can. I love it.
Yes, Lori, represent us well.
Yes, thanks for coming in.